Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wine and Wellness Wednesday. I'm Lindsay Brantley, the founder of Camellia Alise and the Camellia Alise Academy. And I am super excited to be here with you guys this week, as I am every week. But for those of you guys who are new to Wine and Wellness, I first and foremost want to say welcome to Wine and Wellness Wednesday. And I'm super excited because we now have over 10,000 followers. So really quickly, just to reintroduce myself, like I said, I'm Lindsay Brantley. I am a structural engineer turned medical aesthetics practitioner and the founder of the Camellia Alise skincare brand that I so proudly bring to you guys each week. Every Wednesday, we discuss something that is skincare related or self-care related on the @Camellia Alise page, and then at 7:30, so in about 30 minutes, I switch over to the @Camellia Academy page and we talk about everything that is business related. So I've been talking for the last few weeks about skincare, and last week I answered all kinds of questions, y'all. Y'all gave me all kinds of great questions to answer about skincare. But this week I wanted to talk about self-care. And there is actually the magic 8, you guys. There are 8 self-care categories. And for me, I always think of the basic 4, and I'm gonna go through all 8, but I don't always think of all of them. And so I'm gonna go through what those 8 categories are, and then what some of the things are that we should be doing in those categories. So before I get started, as is customary, I first and foremost want to toast to each and every one of you guys. I hope that you have a wonderful glass of wine. So toast to you guys for making it through hump day and for joining me here this evening. All right, so when I say this has been a crazy day, y'all, I've gone from meeting to meeting to another meeting. So I was rocking out to some Mary J, and one of my favorite songs by her is called I'm in Love. So that's what was playing in the background. All right, so let's go through what these 8, the magic 8 self-care categories are. So the first category is physical self-care. And when I think about physical self-care, I was like, I always, from the beginning have talked to you guys about walking and how important walking is, right? So walking and exercising is definitely part of physical self-care, but so is nutrition, what you're putting in your body. So is sleep. We talk a lot about sleep and the importance of sleep, but all the things that keep your body physically healthy are part of that physical self-care, including yoga, stretching. For me, I love to walk, but for those of you guys who watched me the last couple weeks, I broke my foot, so I'm wearing this big boot, so I can't really do as much of the walking. So right now, part of my physical self-care is making sure that I get the proper amount of sleep and making sure that I'm watching my nutrition, since I can't really do as much of the walking part. All right, so that's category 1, is physical. Category 2 is emotional. So your emotional self-care is going to be things like your stress management, making sure that your stress is just not, getting out of control and running over you. Also coping, your coping skills are part of your emotional self-care, and therapy, making sure that you are talking to someone. I know for those of you guys that have been watching me, you've seen over the past 4 months, I lost my mom, right? So I've been going to therapy. And for those of you guys who feel like, oh, we're not supposed to go to therapists. No, that's what therapists are there for, to help you keep your emotions in check and have someone, a third party that can, listen to you, that's not your friend, that's judging you and giving you all their advice all the time, right? So having a professional to help you with your emotional self-care is extremely important. So like I said, things like your coping skills, your therapy, stress management, those are all part of your emotional self-care. So that's the second category. The third one, a lot of people don't think about this, but the third category for self-care is actually your social self-care. So friends, having time with your friends, having positive energy and interactions with other people can be a form of self-care. But of course you want to keep it positive. Also, having social boundaries is part of your self-care. So, if you're an introvert, being able to say, you know what, for my own peace of mind tonight, I'm not going to go to that party. It's just, I'm not feeling it. That's part of your social self-care. You know, not overexerting yourself socially or underexerting yourself. If you're the person that's like, I have to be around people, you know, I know 2020 was probably difficult for you guys. Once again, thanks to everybody that's joining us. Thanks to my aunts. Look, I got one on Instagram, one on Facebook. So thanks so much for the love, everyone. But yeah, definitely social self-care is things, like I said, like having friends and positive energy, but also setting healthy boundaries for yourself and your social interactions. So if you want more interaction, you know, you do that for yourself. But if you're at a place where you're like, I really don't want to have as much social interaction, having boundaries and saying no is part of your social self-care. So that's the third category. The fourth category is actually your spiritual self-care, okay? So spiritual self-care is things like your meditation, your prayer, journaling, whatever it takes to help yourself get into a better place spiritually. That is definitely a part of your self-care. And we should all have a couple of things that we do to bring ourselves back to a better place. Like I said, whether it's prayer, meditation, even nature, you know, for some, just being out in a natural state helps with your self-care. So nature, you know, journaling, meditation, prayer, those are all things that help with your spiritual well-being and are very, very, very important. So for me, it's a lot of prayer and some meditation. So I hope that you guys have one or two tools in each of those categories. Now, those are the four basic categories. And whenever I think, you know, self-care, I'm like, I got to do something better for my body, something for my mind and my emotions. But there are actually 8. There are not 4. So now I'm going to go through the other 4 that a lot of us sometimes just don't think of, okay? So one of them is your just plain personal self-care. Your personal self-care is going to be things like your hobbies. You know, what is it that you like to do? Your creativity. You know, what kind of things do you like to do to build yourself up? So your hobbies, setting your goals for yourself. You know, I want to be better at this or better at that. You know, so being creative, your hobbies, setting your goals. Those are things that are and honoring yourself. Things that are helping you to personally honor yourself. Those are part of your personal self-care, okay? And so for me, it's definitely going to be that creativity part. I'm not very creative, but I do have hobbies and I definitely have goals that I set. And when I meet those goals, I'm so excited. I'm so happy. So that's definitely what works for me with my personal self-care. The next one is going to be your space. Oh my gosh. I never really think of my space as self-care. But when your space is clean, you know, you feel better, you know, so your space being clean, being positive, you know, having things around you that enlighten you. You're surrounding yourself in your space, your stability, health, making sure, like I said, for those of y'all who, I know some of my employees watch, I will tell you, I'm crazy about our kitchen. Every day that I walk in, I want our kitchen or our break room to be clean. Because I mean, in general in life, there's so many things going on. We're busy, we're here, we're there. But I want to walk into that space and it be clean. That's part of my self-care. And I never really thought about that. So yes, definitely having a space that is your own, a space that is clean, that is the way you want it to be, is actually a part of your self-care. And I never really thought of that as being one of the categories. Okay, so we got 2 more. One of the categories, so there are 8, like I said, we're on number 7. So the 7th one is gonna be financial self-care, okay? So budgeting, right? Setting boundaries around your finances is actually part of your self-care. It's making sure that you're not stressing over, you know, oh my God, can I pay this bill or can I pay that bill? But planning ahead for your financial management, planning ahead for, you know, paying your bills. That's actually part of your self-care. Anything that is weighing down on you that can stress you out, the opposite of that is going to be a part of, you know, honoring yourself and putting yourself at a better place. So financial self-care is definitely one that is very important and often overlooked, okay? And then the last one that I'm going to go over, which I definitely never thought about this one as a self-care category, is going to be work. So your workspace and the things that you do at work can either help with self-care or make it worse. So just like your social self-care, you need to set boundaries. For work, you have to set healthy boundaries. That's part of your self-care. So being able to say no, or I tell my clients all the time, if you say that your boundary is I'm not working on Sundays, then that's your boundary. Take care of yourself by making sure that you set those boundaries and that you actually stick to them. So your workspace can be a part of your self-care. Boundaries, time management, making sure that you don't just run all over, your own time. If you say, hey, I'm stopping at 5 o'clock today, then today I'm stopping at 5 o'clock. So that time management, and also giving yourself breaks at work. Not just, well, like today was one of those days I was running. I didn't give myself a break. But setting boundaries and setting time limits for yourself at work can definitely be a part of your self-care as well. So I hope that you guys learned something new. I'm going to recap what those 8 self-care categories are. And like I said, I kind of talked a little bit about some of the things that I'm doing for me, but you guys need to be thinking about those 8 categories and what you're doing for yourself as well. So let me go over what the categories are again. So you have the physical category for self-care, which is things like exercise, moving around, nutrition. You have your emotional self-care, which is, like I said, therapy, figuring out what your coping skills are, things that kind of help with your emotional state. Then you have social self-care, which is positive energy, being around those you love. Then you have your spiritual self-care, which is your meditation, prayer, journaling, things that help you uplift yourself spiritually. Then the 5th one is your personal self-care, which is your creativity, your hobbies. Then you have your spatial self-care, which is maintaining your peaceful space, your sacred space, your clean space, whatever that space is. And then you have your financial self-care, which is taking care of yourself financially. And then last, you have your work self-care. So that's taking care of your, work-wise. What are you doing to set boundaries and do the things that you need to do for yourself? All right, guys, so I am so excited that I was able to, give you guys a couple things to think about. Hopefully, y'all are thinking about 1 or 2 things that you need to be doing in each category to make sure that you are taking care of yourself and putting your self-care at the forefront of who you are and your daily habits. So thanks once again for joining, and next week will be another round of skincare. So as always, I want to honor each and every one of you guys and tell you congratulations for making it through Hump Day. Hope to see you guys again next week. So toast to you. All right, I'm gonna rock out to a little bit more Mary, and then if y'all are in the business, on the business side of things, switch over to at Camellia Academy. We'll be on in a few minutes to talk about something business related. Talk to you guys soon, and I'll see you next week. Bye.